In total, since June 2015, according to the website, made by us and other resources, more than 2,029 import substitution projects have been implemented in Russia. For April 2024, 13 projects have been realized. So, microcontrollers developed by the Voronezh Research Institute of Electronic Technology, NEET-JSC, is part of the Element Group of companies, are used in devices for power control of electric transportation produced by the Russian company Rubrux. The first such device was a traction inverter built on EMC 1921 VK035. Its development began about 3 years ago, when it was decided to develop a traction inverter based on a domestic controller. Previously, RUP-ROX products used microcontrollers of Western as well as Chinese production. Rostec State Corporation's Roselectronics Holding has mastered the production of polymer dielectrics, which are used in electronic units to insulate microchips from external factors. They can be used in the production of microwave electronics for a wide range of applications, such as radar, space, and telecommunications equipment. The technology has no domestic analogs and will make it possible to refuse the purchase of foreign materials. Dielectrics will be used in the assembly of multi-layer electronic modules, such as transmitter reception, where it is necessary to protect printed circuit boards from external factors, the possibility of electromagnetic thermal and other effects. The material has thermal stability up to 450 degrees Celsius and is resistant to chemical attack and moisture. The company Ion Technologies from the town of Krasnokamensk in the Perm region was the first in Russia to launch serial production of equipment for ion vacuum, ion plasma simplification of metals and alloys. Simplification of parts and units of mechanisms increases hardness and improves tribotechnical properties of working surfaces, where resistance, corrosion, and erosion resistance, specific contact strength, and significantly extends the operational life of mechanisms. Technological tooling of machining tools, which provides an increase in the quality of products and ultimately allows the manufacturer to achieve higher technical and economic indicators, including the most important reliability and survivability. The company Center of Transport Komplektatsiya, a member of the KSK group of companies, has launched in Ramansky district of Voronezh region a serial import substituting production of intercarriage components for Moscow 2024 and Moscow 2020 subway cars, as well as electric trains IVLG. Previously, the Transport Completion Center used foreign components, including those from Europe, in the assembly of intercar crossings. Localization of component production will allow the company to increase the production of crossings 2.7 times to 1,260 units per year and increase its share in the Russian market from 27% to 76%. The Titan polymer plant mastered the production of BOPIT film with a new type of chemical coating. The first batches have already been shipped to customers. This type of BOPIT film is universal in use, successfully used in various types of packaging, technologically advanced for application of various coatings and laminations. It is also suitable for rethermal application, where the temperature of use reaches 135 to 140 degrees Celsius at high pressure during autoclaving. BOPIT films have excellent mechanical properties, improved resistance to chemicals, high transparency, excellent machinability, surface smoothness, abrasion resistance, and have a wide range of applications. Production provides import substitution of a large range of products, including medical and special purpose. The Siplast company from Krasnoyarsk region tripled the production capacity of flexible furniture polyurethane foam from 5 to 15,000 cubic meters.
Over 900 miljoen
rubles were invested in the new production building, of which 450 million rubles, of which 450 million, of which 450 million rubles was provided by the Industrial Development Fund on the terms of preferential lending. Thanks to this project, the share of imports in the Russian market will be reduced to a minimum from the current estimated 12% to about 6%. Rostec Enterprises have started to produce gunpowder for ammunition from wood and flax pulp. The new product is in no way inferior to the traditional one made of cotton raw materials. As the industrial director of the Cluster of Armament of Ammunition and Special Chemistry told TASS in an interview, to quote, "Our specialists are constantly improving the production process." Last year, Rostec Enterprises started industrial production of gunpowder from alternative raw materials, wood, and flax pulp. The results are positive. A set of tests and practical shootings showed that such gunpowder is not inferior to traditional gunpowder. There is no shortage of wood raw materials in Russia, he said. Last year, the St. Petersburg plant of OO Evrolux Group launched its own production line for cartridge filters. Within 4 months, it managed to reach the planned indicators. The capacity of the production line allows to produce up to 15,000 cartridges per year. The investment was made at the expense of own funds. The production line is equipped with modern equipment, which allows to produce products meeting high standard qualities. The new production was organized within the framework of the Import Substitution Program, because after the introduction of Western sanctions, many European companies stopped supplying filter elements to Russia. The cartridge-type cartridges produced are suitable both for the company's own equipment and for installations of other manufacturers. The Russian Scientific Center Applied Chemistry of the state corporation Rostec launched the first in Russia production of wide up to 1.6 m in Tor polymer films. This unique and environmentally friendly material has a wide range of applications from architecture to aerospace industry and successfully replaces glass, polycarbonate, polyethylene, and other polymers. The maximum production volume will be up to 5 million linear meters per year, which will make it possible to replace similar imported products. The appearance on the Russian market of a line of intrapolymer films has initiated the interest of representatives of various professional spheres, from architecture to agro-industrial complex. The wide range of applications of this innovative material and its competitive advantages allow us to say that it can replace many familiar materials such as glass, polyethylene, polycarbonate, and so on. The capacity of the new enterprise will allow it to replace imported analogs in the Russian market. Russia's first mass production of printers based on domestic system boards has been launched. The company claims that this is the first case of serial production of domestic printers and multifunctional devices based on our printed circuit boards in Russia. Earlier, the company received an opinion on the conformity of the produced printed circuit boards with the requirements of the Russian government resolution number 719 on the confirmation of the production of industrial products in the territory of the Russian Federation. Thus, the boards were included in the register of the Ministry of Industry and Trade. Restrictive measures on the part of unfriendly countries contribute to the rapid development of machine building and instrument making in Russia. But to achieve full technological sovereignty in these industries, modernization of existing and development of new power EKB is required. Optron Stavropol JSC is engaged in the development and production of power semiconductor devices based on crystals of its own production, diode, thyristor, optothyristor. In the middle of 2022, DM3E3-5016 compact three-phase diode modules with dielectric aluminum base using metallized heat-conducting ceramic substrates were developed. The serial production of 327 series ASCA solenoid valves is launched at the site of Metran Industrial Group. Thus, technological sovereignty was achieved in the production of highly reliable valves with a set of unique characteristics responsible for the safety of continuous and discrete industries. In April 2024, the first phase of Metran Group's deep localization project for the production of solenoid valves was implemented as part of its import strategy. The first commercially available modifications of the 3027 ASCO series solenoid valves are versions with temperature ranges from -52 degrees Celsius to +60 degrees Celsius with brass and stainless steel bodies. Climatic and lifetime tests of the version from -60 to +60 degrees Celsius are in progress. Itelma Research and Production Enterprise, which is the largest manufacturer and supplier of electronics for cars produced in Russia, announced the launch of autopilot systems. The autonomous control complexes are designed for agricultural machinery and are produced at the company's plant in Moscow. Mass installation of sanction-resistant autopilots has already begun. The first machinery equipped with domestic systems will go to the sowing season already this year. In total, 13 import substitution projects were realized in April 2004. I would also like to show how Russia is developing in absolutely different spheres. Putin once said that we have always been catching up, the Soviet Union was catching up, and today we have a unique situation. In our recent history, we are being caught up. The Russian economy in today's conditions operates under two significant constraints. First, the toughest sanctions, the number of which is already about 15,000. The second is the largest military operation since the Great Patriotic War. What have we had recently in the basic Atlas? Take, for example, the machine tool industry. Stan Holding, part of Rostec State Corporation, will create a machine tool cluster in Bashkortostan. The planned volume of investments in the expansion of machine tool production exceeds 7 billion rubles. The project, which runs until 2028, envisages modernization and construction of foundry and equipment assembly facilities and will be implemented in two stages. Construction of a separate foundry will start already in the spring of 2024. It will be built on the basis of a new company, RT Stanlet, which will join the structure of the mill. The new building will be located on a site with a total area of more than 4 hectares, of which about 15.5 thousand square meters will be occupied directly by the foundry. It will produce castings from gray and high-strength cast iron, These elements are used for the manufacture of beds as part of metalworking equipment. The capacity of the future shop will be 5,200 tons of castings per year. It is planned to attract additional 237 specialists to the enterprise. They plan to invest over 3.5 billion rubles in the foundry building, which is scheduled to be launched in the 26th year. And let's see what we have in the chemical industry. The start of commercial operation of Fosargo's new fertilizer complex in Fokhov, Leningrad region. Investments in the Fokhov production complex development project exceeded RUB 34 billion. The company's fertilizer output here will grow fourfold to over 1 million tons per year. The company has built in Fokhov new production facilities for extract phosphoric and sulfuric acids, water-soluble mineral fertilizers, a complex for process steam utilization, providing the enterprise with more than 80% of its own generation electricity. The plant was built by Russian contractors using domestic technologies, said Fosagra CEO Mikhail Rybnikov. According to him, now almost all the apatite concentrate produced by the company of almost 11 million tons will be processed domestically. And what about us in the metallurgy? Ural Steel has launched a pig iron superstore. This is a temporary storage facility for liquid pig iron with a capacity of 1,300 tons, which has the functions of temperature maintenance and chemical composition averaging. Now steel smelters can turn to the storage facility as a supermarket at any time and take the required amount of alloy for steel production. Denis Safin, general director of Ural Steel Management Company, said that the commissioning of the unit will help to increase the volume of steelmaking, increase the consumption of liquid pig iron per ton of steel, and reduce the dependence in planning the furnace load. Thanks to the modernization of the electric steel melting shop with the launch of a supermarket, and in the future a vacuumator and a third casting machine, it is planned to increase steel output up to 2 million tons per year. Now let's look at our infrastructure. For example, in trunk infrastructure. In the Samara region, the superstructure of the bridge spans across the Volga River from both banks has been completed. The connection took place on the 13th pillar. Now the builders will be able to carry out works on further construction of reinforced concrete transom of the support and construction of expansion joints. This will ensure the through movement of equipment, materials, and specialists from one bank of the Volga to the other. Next to be completed are road construction, installation of railings, barrier fences, lights, and laying of communications. The technical readiness of the bridge exceeds 93%. All works are to be completed in 2024. The total length of the bridge over the Volga River will be 3.7 kilometers. There will be 26 piers and 25 spans. And what about our social infrastructure? Tennis Palace opened in Luzhniki. The 5-story building with the area of 36,000 square meters is designed in the form of a prism. For the first time among such facilities, slanted stained glass glazing was used. The upper floors offer a view of the Moskva River and the Neskuchny Garden. About 3,000 people will be able to visit the Luzhniki Tennis Palace every day. Discounts are provided for privileged categories of citizens. Young athletes can enroll in a children's tennis school. The renovated Universal Sports Hall Druzhba in Luzhniki was also opened. In September 2024, the Druzhba Universal Sports Hall will host the World Friendship Games. Table tennis and weightlifting tournaments will be held here. The historic Druzhba Sports Complex has received a new life after a long and difficult reconstruction, and now again thousands of athletes will work out here and enjoy training in such a beautiful hall. This fall we are waiting here for the World Friendship Games, which will be held in Moscow at the Olympic Stadium in Luzhniki and, of course, in the famous shell. So we congratulate all athletes on the new birth of this complex. And what do we have in the high-tech sector? Rosatom has launched mass production of 3D printers. Rosatom's fuel division has launched serial production of 9 medium-sized 3D printers. According to industry experts, this volume corresponds to more than 30% of the Russian industry's demand for additive equipment for 2024. The appearance of its own serial product in the field of 3D printing allowed Rosatom to promote it both in the Russian and foreign markets, as well as to solve priority tasks in the field of import substitution. The new 3D equipment is being used to produce parts and introduce additive technologies in the heavy engineering, automotive, aerospace, and nuclear industries, as well as in the educational sphere. That is all for today.